Tiba so se, shoot. Tiba so se, shoot. Tiba so se, we got guns blazing in. Tiba so se, shoot. Tiba so se, shoot. Tiba so se, shoot. Tiba so se, there's a killer in the dungeon. Tiba so se, shoot.
Yo, what's up? This is Dungeon Recap Season 2. I'm your boy, The Genesis, and thank you for watching. If it's your first time tuning in, welcome to the show. If it's your second time, thank you for your support. We really appreciate you tuning in. You could have been anywhere on the internet, but you chose us. And dude, we appreciate that. So without further ado, man, before I introduce our guest today, this is a very important episode today, right? Because today we're going to talk about something called toxic positivity and many other things that affect our lives. One for a start, what is toxic positivity? Toxic positivity, in the simplest way I could explain it, is that feeling you get right before you study something and you look at your room and you think to yourself, you know what, I can't study in a messy room. And so you clean your room before you study. And after cleaning your room, you think to yourself, I can't study without an empty stomach. And so you go and make food and you eat in front of your favorite TV show. And before you study again, you think to yourself, you know what, I have to check my phone because I don't want to get bothered while I'm studying. And so you check your phone before you study. And before you know it, you get 10, I wish you also study. But you did all the things that were positive. You did them out of the intention that they are positive. I used to suffer from such things. I'm pretty sure you too used to suffer from the same thing. So today with us is a man, an author, a father, a husband, motivational speaker, life coach, even a poet, bruh. So man, without further ado, please help me welcome Mr. Vusi Kokela. Mr. Vusi.
Sure.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. Blessed.
Thank you for coming,
Thanks.
my brother.
It's a pleasure, my man. Thank you.
Thank you, man. So let's jump right into it, man. So tell us, what made you become a motivational speaker? From poet to motivational speaking. What influenced that decision?
Yeah. I think it's one of those things that chooses you, and I don't want to, get cliche that type of a thing, or no, I didn't choose it, it chose me. But for me, it's true in a sense, it's not something that I decided, I want to do, motivation. I stumbled upon it. When I'm talking to people, they'll be like, hey man, I'm so motivated, I'm so encouraged. Yeah, so it was something where I stumbled upon it, and I thought, okay, if I'm receiving feedback so much from people in terms of how they are assisted and motivated, then I might as well be intentional about it. Although I never go out and call myself a motivational speaker, because sometimes we use titles, but we are never really that particular thing. So for me, it's a matter of just being that motivation for people.
Okay, so what would you say stipulates you being a good motivational speaker? Because if you look on the internet, right, especially YouTube, there are many life gurus, life coaches, successful, what. The list is endless, right? So in your description, what makes a good mentor, motivational speaker, or life coach?
Yeah, sure. So those are actually 3 questions because it's 3 different things. But in terms of motivation itself, I would say what makes a great motivational speaker or motivation, it's something that builds you up, not something that just works on your emotions, because I see that's what a lot of people do. They'll just come there and it becomes just an emotional session and you just feel energized, and we call that motivation, but that's not really what motivation is, because emotions are fleeting, okay? I'm no longer as high as I was on those emotions. Then I become an emotional junkie. I must get another motivation again. I must get another motivation. But true motivation is where I build you up. And when you build something up, when you come back outside and you have laid a foundation, you come back outside and it's still on foundation. If we build up to window size of the house, outside you come back, it's still there. But when we do typical motivation here today, I build you up to the roof the same day. When I come back, there's not even the foundation.
Yeah. So that describes the differences there. And you mentioned something very important. I used to have this one friend, right? He wanted to change his life. So he went on to YouTube, found this guru. And that's exactly what my friend did. So he like I joke for a good month. And then after a good month, because it was too difficult to maintain. It wasn't him, do you understand? And so he found another guru. This guru was like, yo, no, it doesn't matter as long as we write your papers. Sure. And so he did the same thing after a good year. Angala. What do you think is the problem with my friend here?
Why Asahona who maintain?
Like the consistency is not there. He would push something and then angale, and then start another one angale, and then I start another one angale. Before you know it, it's like 3 years. But fit.
Yeah, I think it goes back to something that you mentioned earlier. You know, we do one thing. You called it toxic positivity. So a lot of us are looking for something. We are looking for satisfaction. We are looking for happiness. And when we go to social media, we are looking for something like the quickest. We are that generation, instant gratification. I mean, these days we don't even want to queue for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. We are impatient. So a lot of us is then we hear, no, when you jog, you know, you will have that thing. And then I'm jogging for 15 days, 30 days, Hakinayona. Then I'm thinking, no, maybe there's another solution. I must find something else. And then I go for that and I go for that. Now the challenge with that for now, it's the mindset thinking for everything else that I need to make me fulfilled, to make me happy, it's out there. Whatever you need has to come from within, has to come from you. You know, I can give you all things that you want. I mean, you think of people who have money, who are rich, and then you find out they kill themselves. Think of celebrities who commit suicide. They have all those things out there. They are chasing all those things out there, but internally they have not found themselves. For Gemang, you know, my identity, my purpose. And when things come from there, I'm exercising because I know. For me, for example, my exercising is always attached to I know who I am. One of my values is being a family. It's family orientation, you know. So I always wonder, I think, it's been weeks now, I get sharp, I get exercise, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, how will this affect my children? I understand. So a lot of us, it's not value orientated, kuno kopisa, kuno nyaka some satisfaction that's out there, which is never found from the outside world.
Interesting. Speaking about you, right, Bravusi, I read your book. It's called Remaps, Remapping Your Path to Purpose.
Correct.
Right? Yeah, so I read this other chapter where you spoke about how you were struggling with adult content.
Sure.
Right? So from my experience, when a person struggles with pornographic content, it's usually because of escapism.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I remember I used to struggle with anxiety. Yeah. So whenever I felt anxious about anything, that's what I would resort to.
Yeah.
So from you, right? Where do you think that struggle with pornographic content stem from?
Well, for me personally, and then maybe we'll talk in general as well. Okay. So for me, I realized it came from selfishness, and it's pleasuring yourself. I get, okay. So it's pleasuring yourself, and since it's pleasuring yourself, for me it was that issue. It's always about me. It's always about I want to satisfy myself. I want to release. I want to. When I checked it for me, I found it was never about considering other people, but more about, now I want this thing, I want this pleasure, I want to be satisfied, I want this. And I mean, for me, it even happened even in marriage, you know, where if my wife won't sleep with me for 2 days, 3 days, then I will then go to that content and satisfy myself. Now, selfishness, why kiriki selfishness? I'm not even considering what is she battling with. Maybe emotionally she's not okay. Maybe physically she's not going through something. But here I am, poor me, bandima. Let me just satisfy myself, right? So it's that selfishness where we are always self-conscious and self-absorbed. And let's take it to the world out there. Right? I can ask you, Khuri, would you watch your daughter and masturbate watching your daughter? You would say no. But that's someone else's daughter you are watching there doing that. And some of them, they are even, they are forced into that. Prostitution, forced prostitution or human trafficking, okay? So there's a lot of it, but now I'm just happy because I satisfied myself. I was dealing with something I just released. So I do not consider the struggles, how it affects people next to me, or even the people I'm watching, because I can tell you, some of them are not there because they are happy or because they want to and all of that. So I believe for me and for a lot of us, it just stems from the issue we just want to satisfy ourselves all the time, not caring about someone else.
Selfishness. So next time when you grab your penis watching content, remember who selfish, chief. But without further ado, man, how did you meet your wife, man? How did you meet your wife?
Yeah, you can see I'm smiling. No, she's a very special lady. I knew her, funny enough, I knew her from Morefilo because she stayed here before they moved to Mamelodi. But she's way younger than me, I think about 7 years or so. So,
yo, is that the secret to long-lasting marriages? I wanna know.
We'll talk about the secret. Okay. Yeah, but I always saw her as a younger sister and all of that. But because I'm a spiritual person, a Christian, you know, more Bibling, it talks about Mudimu made Adam sleep, and then out of his rib answer Eve. So really, I was sleeping next some morning until a day where no, here's a woman, you know, here's a lovely, wonderful woman, respectful woman, courageous woman, all the characters, family orientated, she's very, all the things and the qualities and the values that I have. So, but I think I've not answered you. So in short, we always knew each other, but when I decided I want to marry this woman was actually after a long time where we were in attending a church service somewhere, I think for a week or so. So each time I would either forget my phone or I would forget my Bible, and she would always come Leona and say, Ushile this go kerekeng. Hey, Ushile phone ya how? Hey, Ushile this. Now I was like, yo, this woman, like, I know I'm so clumsy and I know I'm forgetful. Ke sorted musiso. I was like, this one kamunyal. And I just decided this thing ya rona ya hore I must kinelwena for 100 years. You end up not even deciding. You decide on the spot you want to marry someone. And then retla discover yeah.
Okay, that's sweet, man. So tell us, you said we're gonna talk about the secret, innit? But I mean, dude, I was one of them. But hey, mojolo wanyisa. Hey, mojolo, batla herda, you know? Batla herda. So what is the secret to long-lasting fruitful relationships that have intimacy? Because I believe the reason why a lot of gents cheat, right, is because they're looking for intimacy.
Sure.
Intimacy is more than sex.
Sure.
Right, it's more than sex, but that's another topic for another day.
Sure.
So you tell us, in your opinion, what's the secret to long-lasting, fruitful, intimate relationships? What's the secret?
Well, let's go back to my belief. My worldview is a Christian worldview. Okay. Now, when you talk about Jesus Christ, the Bible always refers to us as his bride. Well, not always, but often as his bride. So in other words, this person nare portray an example of what a marriage should look like. Now, what did he do? One instant, he washes the feet of his disciples. Then at the end, we know he dies on the cross. Whether that story, and I believe it exists. I'm convinced, you can't unconvince me. But let's say it's a hypothetical, it's a parable, aya exista azanke abate. Let's take the life lessons then from what he's teaching. Let's take the lessons. What we learn from then is that what makes the most successful, prosperous marriage is an unselfish person coming with the intention to serve. Right? Because that's he could have said, Linkirelang Lena. He could have said, I don't need to, I'm the king, I'm the boss, I'm God himself, you know? But he still washed their feet, he still died for them. So the most successful marriage is about two servants who are committed to serving one another.
So it's about self-sacrifice, né?
It's about self-sacrifice, serving one another. And without expectation. You know what Rekawata King? This thing I hear all the time, your people that you love, your family, your loved ones will hate you the most. You know why they hate us the most? Okay. So these ones that I'm close to, I have my expectations on the roof for them. Then these ones that I'm not close to, my expectations is on the floor for them, right? So I have my expectation for my wife here. I have my expectation for my neighbor here. You know? Then my neighbor does a little bit more aling and I'm like, hey, my neighbor is such a good person. My wife surpasses my neighbor hanyan. But because my expectation for her is so high, I'm like, you know, Batowa Ratang will disappoint you, will hurt you. No, it's not her. Problem is here. It's my expectation. Right? So now I need to manage my expectation. I need to come back to myself and say, without expectation, I'm here to serve this person. Whether they serve me back, you know, I mean, our love is so selfish, man. I can come to you and say, oh, I love you, I love you. Do you love me? So I want to, in other words, hakurati. Yeah, pila, I'm telling you so that you can confirm how you love me back. But love in its true definition, not lust. Because lust is for what I want to get. But love in its true definition, it's about what I am able to give. And now someone will say, who's listening, no, I think how no one can just give and give and give and give.
That's another question I want to ask you, right? So other people would say, no, mara bravo se ga utlwa ne, mara bravo se man. Hape, you can't give from an empty space.
Yeah.
You can't give what you do not have. Yeah. So what would you say to that person, Oloring? Wafa mara hana selo and ofaka tsela tsa hore I'm sharing my last cent with you.
Sure.
So what would you say with that? Are it's a form of love?
Yeah. So I think there are different things that we can give. Okay. So let's start on the part of giving love. Now, when you give love, sometimes it will be expressed through gifts. It will be expressed through the language, the way you speak to that person, and so forth. Okay? Now, the first thing I wanted to mention was, love is contagious. If I'm doing it right, I'm going to infect the other person, got the love that I have, and they are going to start giving love back to me. The reason we don't infect each other, it's because what we have is not true love. True love is infectious, man. I mean, billions upon billions of people today proclaim they are Christians. You know why? Because what Jesus did for them became so contagious that, we want to reflect back to him what he did for us. I can tell you even a lot of people as well who, because I'm a life coach, so dealing with marriages, you'll find these guys are in a brink of a divorce and all of that. Or bakwatela, we always advise them, when who has come to me, go back and express love to this person. And act like them, then all of you now, you are being selfish. Let one of you be loving and one of you be selfish. Let's see who will win. Take it as a challenge. Mara.
Go deeper.
you know Renavatu, man. No, I'm sorry, you're selfish, this person, this girlfriend, is selfish, so in that I'm being selfish, Lynn. Yeah, so then I'm being selfish. Who's better now? Because you just said how you really see, so both of you are selfish. Who's going to win? No one. Selfishness is going to win. Both of you will not win. You lose. Selfishness will win. Now, let's put it to the test. You are selfish, I'm loving. You are going to be selfish to me for the rest of your life. I'm going to be loving to you for the rest of your life. My man, I can tell you, they always come back to me. I'm seeing changes. He's a different guy. Love always wins, Baba. It triumphs. If it's a real love, it triumphs.
So, Mr Vusi, what do you say to the women who say, "Bona na mojola omperekelo sna chelet"? Agane Mr Vusi, love wins. Bona it conquers yonke but kantlele zaka. Ay mechum akitse. Ono wena ringa tawe.
Well, what can I say? Akere u decide lo re modimo wa hae ke chelet. What can you say? When your God is money, there's nothing else that will satisfy you other than money. And the unfortunate thing about money is that, and wealth and material things, is that they are never satisfied. Right? How many people told you they'll be satisfied when they make their first 5,000? No man more, but 3.5, hanka ena 5,000. After 5,000, hanka ena 10,000. Bank ya ka hanka bona ki savile 1 million. Unfortunately, that's why I said it's not out there. If you don't have it here, Baba, you will never be fulfilled if you don't have it here. I'm working Koskolom now. I greet them every one of them. I greet them. Ne? Last week said, my security, I joked with him. You know why? He can't offend me because I'm not looking for my happiness moyen. I'm not looking it from out there. That money Kenya, I should be depressed now talking to you, but I'm not. Because it's in here, Baba. So you have these women who are looking for love and confirmation from someone else. You want it from me. So we are in trouble. You want me to affirm you, to show you how you are worthy, and all of that. I want some confirmation. So now both of us, we're seeking for something that we don't have. Right? So where do I now personally then go and withdraw? Where's my ATM? Now I withdraw from my relationship with God because I would be unfair to want to withdraw from you. Utshwana le nna. Le nna ka kwata, le nna ke na le di issues tsaka. So if I want to withdraw from you, you being like me, then I'm unfair. Okay? So I go withdraw from the source. Okay? So I'm always pleased from the source, and I can give to you, I can share with you. And then you looking at my life, you come to me, you say, man, bravos, this thing, the way you pelang and all of that, man, it inspires me. Then I can plug you in to say, man, my source na sneyman saka ki this guy. So connect her to this person, learn be plugged in and see how it works for you.
Interesting, man. So you heard it, man. If it's not from within you, you can't get it out there, man. Ladies, I hope you taking notes, yeah? I hope you taking notes. So, my brother, you are also a pastor, ne?
That's correct.
So tell us, man, what do you think about the religious industry of our country at the moment, with people like Bo Bushiri and many others? Bo Pastor Lesego, ke Lesego?
Yeah, I think so. Lesego Daniel.
Yeah. Tell us, what do you think about the religious industry of South Africa currently?
Yeah, I like the fact, Yahori, you called it religious. Let me not mention people per se specifically. But I like the fact, Yahori, you called it religious, because there's a difference between religion and the relationship. Okay? When we talk about the religion, we are talking about rules and systems and all these things that most of the time they are oppressing someone and they are putting someone on the pedestal or benefiting someone else. That's the system of religion. And now when you talk about religion again, you talk about the masses serving one person or dying for one person. But when you talk about their relationship, Christianity, Christ relationship, you are talking about the one person coming to die for all people. Can you see the contrast?
Yes.
You have hundreds of people, widows, orphans, people who are poor, people who are earning grant asasa, sacrificing themselves for this one pastor. That's a religion. But with Christ, you have this one person coming in and saying, I'll sacrifice myself for the masses. So if he's not sacrificing himself, if he's not denying himself so that you guys can prosper, so that you guys can be good, then he's not following Christ. He's not doing the spiritualities of Christianity. There's a whole lot of other things that we can talk about. But one of the main things is, how does he love? Is he sacrificial to the people? Is he giving his life to the people? And then when he does that, like I said, it's contagious. People are automatically going to take care of him without being forced, without being manipulated, without being told, if you don't do this, you will die. You know? Imagine if I tell my wife, you know? and then she sleeps with me and then ka smile. Hey. Now wouldn't smile. Now would feel like so there are those people who come in, they manipulate people, they make people do things for them based on fear. So the best relationship is where you show example. You come in, you show example. As a pastor, how do we live? How do I love you? How do I sacrifice myself? And I'm telling you, people in return, they give back.
Okay, so tell us, what is the fine line between a good pastor and a self-righteous pastor, or a self-righteous Christian? Because a lot of Christians are very, in my opinion, they are very self-righteous. So kremoto oto tshwerebo steifi or kra bo tsore nna ke rapela ha 7 ka beke nna every Sunday ke a kerekeng wena o ire selo no mabyala. For me, that's self-righteousness.
Sure.
So there's a fine line between being a good Christian and being a self-righteous individuals. But in your opinion, what is the difference?
Maybe ke starte ka wena. I still don't understand your definition of a self-righteous person. Maybe I can talk in terms of what is a good Christian. Mara, go tle ke differentiate sharp. What's the definition for self-righteousness for you?
Okay, for me, self-righteousness is a person who believes is right through his own accord. Do you understand? Not the accord of the living God, but the accord of what he believes he's doing in the eyes of the Lord. Do you understand? So I pray 7 times a week. Okay. I go to church every Sunday. Okay. I fast.
So they have this list that if I do all these things,
yes, I do not swear. I get jolly. That's self-righteousness for me. Yeah. Whereas a good Christian is a Christian that admits that he is sinful, but he believes in a merciful God. Okay. Do you understand? So what's your definition of a good Christian from a self-righteous Christian?
In the book of Matthew, Jesus teaching his disciples, he says, "Be perfect like your Father, who causes rain to fall on the good and on the evil, and who causes his sun to shine on the good and the evil." We are talking, so he's telling them, be good. In fact, fetang ho ba good, le perfect ho tshwana le. Then he defines what will then be the standard, so this goodness or this perfection. And this perfection doesn't mean you are without mistakes. It means you have matured. Like, okay, now it's so childish. But this one has grown up, they are matured now. So be matured just as your Father is matured. But what is the sign of maturity he mentions? He says, this guy, he loves the same way baloi, the same way he loves bana ba hae. If pula yana today, ke ra le Coca-Cola mona re mo solang hore di a bua. Le ko yena yana pula. Le ko wena o re nna ke rapela thata yana. Today letsatsi ne le tlhabile mo. Ke ra le mo magogola ne o retse letsatsi today. Why? Because God is good to good people and bad people. So now Jesus is saying, if you want to be good Christians or followers of me, character. It's not actions. I understand. Until like character. I'm able to smile and do good even for someone who doesn't deserve it. Okay? Right? Remember how follower stories are high. Judas goes and betrays him, like amorekiswa I'm on for 30 coins 30 ne akitso re ne di 1 rand or ne le bukae. Can you imagine a person umorekisa for tšheletenyane ya? But right after he has done that, Judas comes and sits on the table le Jesu, and Jesus still laughs with him, still takes a plate ya borotho wa mo fitisetsa rena hauji today fanda hauji o Satan ya motho we. Why understand? So then for me, character yaka has not come to the character ya modimo. I can even love my betrayer. I can even love a person as treating people. All right? So now these guys who then go around, Baba, now I'm a Christian, when you are bad, when you fast, they are missing it. A good Christian is not measured by those things, how long you pray and all of that. They are measured by character, especially how they respond to people who don't like them, to people who don't treat them well, to that boy who calls you a security guard, to that woman who doesn't want to sleep with you for the rest of the week, because it's good for all of us and easy to love each other when treat people. I mean, my wife hampabiana the whole week. Chelete ya tswa papa. Mara even a witch emsadi ya hae amukukela amuklinela lena ha mo tshwere pila tšhelete ya tswa so what's the difference between me and a witch? Because a witch who fa mosadi ya hae tšhelete a mo thabisitse, le nna ke re I'm a Christian but I only give ha nthabisitse. What about the time a sa nthabisa? That's when you get differentiated. You get differentiated when your mother dies, man. And you've loved this woman all your life. And then you are not going to go throw a pity party. Nah, mudiman rati. But you still have this appreciation for life. Yes, my mother died, but I still have my siblings. I still have a job. Kisanali nefsas. You know, you are differentiated when your house burns down or when you lose a job. Re 50, we all lost jobs. Really 50, 49 yotle. They're just depressed, they are angry at everyone, the whole world. When you're standing, you're saying, even though I lost my job, man, I still have my health, I can still walk, I can still play around. Yes, it's not the way kibatla, but I still have something. That's what differentiates Christians, not me coming to you and saying, when I'm now it's this and that and that.
Interesting points, man. Interesting points. Mr. Vusi Kokela dropping jewels, Baba. Dropping jewels, Baba. Anyway, last question, right before we close. How would you want this generation to remember you when you have passed on?
Sure. Whew, that's deep. That's deep. How do I want my family to remember me? And I think the same way I want my family to remember me is the same way I want everyone to remember me, right? Because I don't want to be one person in my house and another person out there. So my answer, how I want my family to remember me, as a person who never gave up on loving them. Never gave up on loving them. Because in this world that we are living in, it's easy to give up on someone. Very easy. I mean, they smoke Haiwan, you give up on them. They cheat Haiwan, you give up on them. And that time, maybe now I cheated twice. But anyway, you cook everything, man. They don't cook up for you, you give up on them, right? So I want my children and my wife to sit and say, this guy uvaile, ne? But you know, if there's someone who just never stopped pursuing and loving us, get that man. And what we'll do as our friends go skolong, our colleagues go spanning, if we can try, man, to just never give up on them and just pursue them just as you did. Yeah, that's how I'd love to be remembered.
Wow. Nice, sweet and short, man. Mr. Vusi Kokela, thank you for having us. It's been an amazing episode. Thank you so much, man. I hope you got something out of this interview. Thank you for watching. If you've come to this end of the show, thank you for your support. You've been amazing, guys. I really appreciate it. Hey, Mabuda. Hey, Joe. I really love that, guys. So thank you so much for watching. This is the Genesis, and this is Dungeon Recap Season 2. Signing out. I'm Mr. Vusi.
Thank you, Joe.
That was amazing.